taste more of it, I get, I suppose. But I thought, he's right, and we justify, being busy and this and that, but I can't justify it at all anymore. I know it's
He's
just not
a
where it is.
Yeah, he's a rare guy. Another guy was Raman Maharshi. Perhaps I would say that he is deeply influenced by Maharshi Raman. What happens, there are two aspects, and it is related to our chapter 7. If I ask you, do you wash your hands or eat your lunch? What is the option you choose? It is a crazy step. No, first you wash your hands and then you take your lunch. Should I log in to the session today or should you attend it? I have to log in first before I attend the lesson. So, whenever we have this doubt, I have to go to the Gita to find what is the spiritual compass, which Nisarga did not do. He read it later. So, Maharshi Raman also, not at all. He was not exposed to any text or the book. He said that there is no death. If there is a death, and if the death is the decomposition of the body, so what he used to do, that he used to he used to lie down, and he said what a death looks like. No movement of the body. Remember place, position, and posture. No disturbance in the body, being comfortable, remember, being carefree. I got those ideas from him. Okay, so being carefree. And he used to spend hours together while lying down, remaining in that state for many, many years. And he proved that there is no death, but he did not read any text. Then his brother, I believe, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, his older brother was working in some post office, and he said, if you look like this, it is better to go to the Arunachalam. Arunachalam in southern India is a very spiritual place of the Shiva. So now you see, I'm answering the question, should I wash my hands or should I take lunch? If I have a doubt, then I have to follow Gita. But if I don't have a doubt, I need not to. So Maharshi Raman was very clear. He asked himself how to get the money to go to Arunachalam. Look at the conviction of both Maharshi Raman and Nisargadatta. We have to reach to that level of conviction. So he had the ring and he sold the ring. He got the money to make a journey by train to Arunachalam. He reached Arunachalam. He had few coins in his hand left. He went to the river and he threw those coins into the river. He said, if the God is there, he will take care of me. Why should I depend on this? Flashback, go after 20 years. He reached to the highest state of awakening. He is normally known as a god in amongst French community. Then what happened? One poet who was very much familiar with the these Eastern wisdom texts, and then he said, you have spent 20 years in teaching all this stuff. Why don't you summarize Gita? Now I'm coming to the Gita.
Mhm.
31 or 32? Yes. So there is a text which is known as Upadesh Sar. Sar means summary, Upadesh means teaching, in which there are only 31 verses, which gives you the entire picture, entire journey of, I would say, of all the text. He was a Tamilian. Tamil is a language in India. We have more than 29 recognized languages in India. So he did not know Sanskrit or English. So he wrote those verses in Tamil. The poet translated those verses in Sanskrit, and that became one of the most treasured texts of all the sequels. Same question. The moment I have a doubt, should I wash my hand or should I take a lunch? I should know the process. Gita tells you the process. It creates a spiritual compass. And that compass means there is an inner sense of direction. What the compass does, it moves you from confusion to clarity. It moves you from suffering to calmness and peace. That is what you are experiencing. That is what your experience is. And from ego to self, false I to the real self. From outer searching to inner knowing. That is what the compass is. But by the intellect, but by understanding, but by clarity. Clarity is there. So the chapter number 7 acts like a compass. I am in confusion to clarity. So, okay, I'm in confusion. I am the false I which is in confusion. Did you study the first 6 chapters? Yes. I have understood what is real self. But who is going to take care of my confusion? Oh, what is the innermost self? Chapter 7. I have done lot of activities, karma yoga, but I am still confused. Go to the upasana. Second, comparison. First 6 chapters. Oh, I have to recognize Purushartha. The Purushartha word means 4 goals in life: dharma, arth, kam, moksha. Moksha, self-discovery is the 4th one, but I have to balance my personal life, my professional life, my life of pleasure. Balancing these 3, I'm going for the self-discovery. Then what happens in the chapter 7? Chapter 7 says it is a grace and a blessing. You will receive the grace and blessing. So when you experience peace and calmness, is it not blessing? Yes, it is a blessing. Are you not experiencing the calmness throughout your day? Doing your personal duty, professional duty, social obligations and family? Answer is yes. So we are still moving. Let me wash my hands and then take lunch. Let me log in and then I will attend the session. I don't have a choice. When I don't have a choice, mind becomes the choicelessness. You are already evolving. What it needs. Gita says you need a dharma. We will talk in detail about. We have talked about dharma. Karma yoga is basically a part of the dharma. We need a power of discernment. We need a power of dispassion. We need a tremendous faith. We need to continue with the satsang, that is listening, learning, uh, contemplation, reflection, uh, contemplation and reflection. Is it not amazing? Why satsang is required? Satsang include listening, learning, consistent, contemplation, reflection, consistently, practice and experience, constantly. Let me check, did I change my behavior and attitude? Behavior and attitude. I was just lying down yesterday and I said, what the hell you are doing? I asked the question from where this question has come to my mind. Oh, my mind was looking at the external world of achievement. Okay, that is why you are asking what the hell you are doing. What did you achieve? Can you move from achievement to awareness? Are you not able to manage your personal, your professional, and family life? Answer is yes. I said, why this question? Then I recognize this question has come from the false side. So once you understand, it is gone. It is gone. It is gone. So when it is gone, so then what happens? It is gone, then you are calm and relaxed. Then ask the question from where this calmness has come. Does this calmness and peace depend on the outer world of people? Is it situational happiness or is it inner happiness? Oh, it is inner happiness. So I'm approaching near. Oh, I'm approaching near. Very good. Thank you. I'm clear now. So intellect has analyzed and it has reflected. I experience the inner calmness. Oh, it has come. Does it depend on anything outside? No. So what I have been doing, I have been doing the daily self-inquiry. I have been doing the practice. I have been studying the other text. It's okay. I have been contemplating and reflecting, and that is going to help me in reaching to the highest level. Having said that briefly, what exactly the Gita-7 tells us where you are. It answers where you are, it answers where to go, it answers how to walk, and it answers why it's worth it. That is what the chapter 7 is. Again, let us go to where you are. Where you are. I'm lost in.
Can I mention one more thing before I forget? I was realizing that the word that, or the concept of that, when I was in
It is
a very powerful.
We have a beautiful statements from the Upanishads. I am that. I am not this. So this is idam. This is matter. This is delusion. This is impurity of the mind. So the moment I say this refers to matter, maya, delusion, ignorance, superimposition, and that means I am that. That means here the real self. Yes, it is very powerful. Ultimately, Gita is taking us there. with that statement, very big statement made by the Upanishads. You are right. So even that reflection during the practice of meditation is very helpful. Let us return to where you are. Where you are. Again, it refers to the same statement. Am I lost in delusion, superimposition, false I? Where you are. That is why the chapter 7 explains what is Ishwar, what is the innermost self, what is Shiva, what is Krishna. I recognize that I am often caught in the intricate web of delusion. That illusion that makes the impermanent seem real. So I instantly become aware, and okay, now this is consistently changing. I have not to stay there. I have not to stay there. That is why we are understanding what exactly is this Ishwar. So after understanding, I can bring my mind back to that Ishwar, the innermost self. It is like, imagine that we are lost in dense fog. You can only see a few feet in front of you, and everything seems distorted or unclear. So when I become aware of the entire picture of this fog, the fog is the delusion. Fog is the delusion, obscuring the true landscape of reality. So that is why the first question, where you are. For Nisargadatta, for Maharshi Raman, who am I, is direct. Because of that intense desire. For me, where I am would be better. It's a common sense intellect. Second is where to go. Now I understand what is real self and what is Ishwar. So I have to go to the real self or the Ishwar. So it means what? The compass then points towards the ultimate destination, the realization of the true self within us, and the understanding of the God as the supreme reality within me. Third is that how to walk. How to walk. We have a karma yoga, we have upasana. We have a purushartha is very clear in the first 6 chapters, and I have to receive constant blessing in the grace. Means I have to open myself to that grace and the blessing, and the rest is taken care of. That is what the devotion is. So devotion allows us to connect with the inner self when mind is pure. When the mind is pure by karma yoga, you see combination, first 6 chapters and the 7th chapter. So it's a movement. I'm confused what to do, what not. No, let me sit and be clear. Convert that karma into the karma yoga. I'm ready for a upasana or the devotion in the 7th chapter. Why it's worth it? It gives me the true freedom. Nothing left to know. That is what we covered in the first three verses of the chapter 7. I will give you the comprehensive knowledge, complete knowledge without doubt. So I am preparing myself for that. I believe one thing more to be understood, so that the things become very clear in your intellect. The entire Eastern wisdom every text, what normally they do, they classify different topics. They have different topics, maybe 10 topics, and they classify. They organize these topics into a different classification. You see the first 6 chapters, I'm not going there, and the 7th chapter. You see the classification and you see the classification here. Then we analyze. Why we analyze? We want to know the cause and effect. Why we want to know the cause and effect? So the knowledge is settled in the intellect. It takes time. Knowledge to be settled in the intellect. I have a conviction. Now there is an innermost self and there is a real self. But how to get that conviction? By analysis, by understanding, by metaphor, by examples, by explaining. Step by step process. So first is the classification. So now you should be very clear about first is chapters and their classification. In a nutshell, I gave you what is real self, what is karma yoga, and what is the right effort, including personal, professional, social life. And I covered a lot of topics into that. That you can be like Maharshi Raman or Nisargadatta Maharaj. You jump into the monkhood. You need not to do karma yoga. But think of their state of mind. Think of their state of mind. We are not there. Again, the same example. Should I wash my hands? No, I have to wash my hands first. Now I have washed my hands and I continue to wash my hands 3 times, 4 times, 5th time. Now I am crazy. I have already washed my hands. Now I should take my dinner. I should be absorbed into meditation. But then people get carried away by the karma yoga. They become a social worker. They become a social activist. And they are more frustrated. So we are not talking about that social worker. We are talking of karma yoga, the attitude inside my mind. I am not the doer and the enjoyer, so that I can move to being a doer, enter into the devotion, the upasana part in the 7th chapter. So that is what the analysis we are doing. Classification, we are very clear. Analysis, we are clear. And in the next 6 chapters, from 13th to 18th, it is a synthesis. It is a synthesis. It is a synthesis. So why it is a synthesis? Because I know the reality. I know the real self is Satchitanand. I am aware. I think, speak, and act out of that real self, reflected by the apparent I in the personal, professional, and social life. There is a simultaneous awareness of absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss, and at the same time apparent reality. So I continue to use the word I, you, he, she, but it does not make any impact on me. Why it does not make any impact on me? Because I am not attached. Why I am not attached? I am in the mode of karma yoga all the time. Now karma yoga is happening by default. I don't have a confusion whether I have to wash my hands and take the dinner. No, it's very clear. Oh, it's a part of the life, that is taken care of. So once we have that clarity, then now pay attention. We have understood the real self. So what about the God? We have a lot of confusion. So Krishna says we have it. My nature is twofold. Krishna means the God. I have twofold nature: lower nature and the upper nature. What is upper nature? Upper nature is the innermost self. That is what I have been saying. Shiva and Krishna is what he explains. That is the upper nature. It is just the real self. But here, Krishna says it is my twofold nature. In the next 6 chapters, we will understand this real self and this innermost self, Shiva and Krishna, are not two. They are essentially one. How can you say that they are one? Earring and the gold, are they two or one? Wave in the water, are they two or one? Oh, it means when I feel I'm limited by this name in the form, I find there is the real self. But when I break that limitation or illusion, I am the water. I am the gold. So it means innermost self and the real self are one? Yes. That is where we are. So that is why the Krishna, now see the classification. Krishna says, first understand me, what is my nature. I have twofold nature. One is the lower nature, made up of eightfold material manifestation, 5 elements plus mind, intellect, and ego. That is the lower. And what is the higher nature? Higher nature is pure consciousness that supports and pervades everything. How it pervades? Consciousness plus satoguna is the Ishwar. Okay. It is like a computer software. It is like the intelligence, the code that brings the hardware to life, enables meaningful function. You are aware, we say the computer inside, the chip inside, we have binary numbers. Binary means 2, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Upper and the lower nature, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Now that is binary numbers give a meaningful presentation that we are attending a virtual session. Many people say how what you are thinking, material manifestation, it has to do samoguna consciousness. Come on, here what is happening in the computer. I'm recording, there is a audio software coming from the same binary number. You are seeing my expression from the same binary numbers. I opened the computer from the same binary numbers, the same interface, or multitude of manifestations. So if that is possible, why that is not possible? So that is why you have classified as the upper and the lower nature. Krishna says yes. Krishna says yes. Understand clearly the lower nature and the upper nature. So why understanding is required? It will prevent critical error. It will remove the doubt from your mind. The doubt means the ignorance. Doubt means the impurity. Doubt means also the delusion. It guards us as a seeker against those impurities. I'm totally exhausted. Why? Because I reflected on who am I. Really? You're exhausted? So it means somewhere the false I is taking over you. How can you be exhausted by yourself? If you are exhausted by yourself, it means you are not there. Restart your contemplation and reflection. Don't create a false claim that you are exhausted. How about God exhausted? So that is what where that is good. So now I again reflect and I find the calmness. I reflected in a right manner, my doubts are gone. Okay, my doubts are gone and I am relaxed. I don't know why I don't feel tired and fatigued, but I know in a way that you are constantly and consistently connected to the inner self. Inner self is not changing. Because it is not changing, it is of the nature of peace and happiness, so there is no question of tiredness. But you separate the fatigue and the tiredness of the mind and the body. Yes, they are constantly changing. So now you are able to distinguish between the lower and the higher nature. Okay, that is why we are analyzing after classification. Classification is to understand classification is simple. To analyze, reflect, and reach to a point of conviction is what the analysis is. We are analyzing. Oh, and then what? We will synthesize. How we will synthesize? The real self is also absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. Inner self is also existence, consciousness, and bliss. So that is what you experience. I am that. I am that. I am that. Yes, I am that. That means that real self and the inner self, come on, they are the same thing? Okay, that is what you are saying, talking about para prakriti, the higher nature is there. And that is one aspect dealt in detail. And then the second aspect is the upasana or devotion to the inner self. Now I have understood the inner self, how I should be attached to that inner self. Why is understanding of the upasana so important in our journey of the self-discovery? What exactly is upasana? And I get a explanation from my master. He used to say that upasana is made up of two syllables. First, upa means near, and asana means sitting. Your mind is sitting near the innermost self, which is an objectless state of meditation. Did I make it simple? So it means, can I be into that objectless state of meditation during the day? Answer is yes. And regular meditation practice, yes. It is a proximity to the innermost self. It is a proximity to the God. And that is why we have been doing the practice of meditation of Saguna, Sakara, with all the attributes in a human form, without human form, with all the attributes, is located within me, the innermost self, and beyond that, without any attribute, without any name in the form, is the highest self, is what the real self is. But why to start with? That is what the Upasana says, sitting nearby. Mind is still covered with subtle level of impurities, so we can easily be attached with some name in the form. Shiva, are you happy with me? Let us start communicating mentally and emotionally. Mentally, you are saying, are you happy with me? Am I talking to Eric rightly? Yes, Shiva. Just check it. If there is anything, correct it. You establish a relationship. The moment the first time you date, you start establishing a relationship. So we also start establishing a relationship. That is the first level of the Shiva in the human form. You have kept the image of the form? Yes. Shiva, you were looking at me. I did not pay any attention to you. You are with me. Are you with me? That is what happens in devotion and the love. We don't do it. Now you have to do it. So that is called the ritual practice of meditation. So yeah, it's okay. Whether you are saying Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, whether you are lighting a candle, offering flower, offering a prayer, or any prayer. Om Namah Shivaya is also a prayer. You are my parents. Oh, Shiva, Now I'm looking at that Shiva in the name and the form. Appears in my Shiva appears in the name and the form of my parents. Oh, that is Shiva. I don't see in a material way she is my mom or he is my dad, but I see internally. Why? That is what the Upasana first level is there. But when we deepen our practice, we move inward to contemplation and meditation. So, here what happens now, the focus is shifting to internal devotion. Now it is, so it means the Shiva is already there. I am doing it, I'm earning for Shiva, I'm talking for Shiva, I'm doing everything for Shiva. The mind must change. We are transforming. Previously, we were purifying the mind by the karma yoga. Now we are attaching our mind to the real self through Shiva, mentally, externally, with a name and form. That is why Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva. So now you see how beautiful these masters were. Once you study Eastern wisdom and you don't want to leave, you are already a seeker. Even these 45 years have passed. I don't even remember I had an acute stress or anxiety during 45 years. They just pass as if flying birds. I don't see that. Even situation is difficult, let it be. Then what? My mind reflected that situation as difficult. But that situation is outside, I'm inside. Finished. Innermost self. So that is very important in devotion, the first two parts. And the third part is I am that. I'm bringing you back to what you experienced. It is very important for me and you also that you should understand. So we are settled completely into I am that. That is the highest level. So what happens now? So if we look from the other point of view, what happens? Emotional purification through devotion. Emotion. What do you mean by emotional? My mom, you are crazy. No, now I don't dare to say that. Why? Because I see the Shiva in the mom. Emotional purification. Honey, whether it's the mom or honey or daughter or son, why as our hearts turn towards divine, I see the same manifestation. No, but if my son and daughter are doing crazy stuff, should I not say? Yes, you should say. Tvameva vidya dravinam. You are my son also. You are my daughter also. So it means that my mind is filled with the Sattva Guna, then I will talk to them. Yes, I will talk. So do you see the change in behavior in your personal professional life? First benefit of devotion. Second, it cultivates a mental focus through your regular practice. Your focus remains on the Shiva during the entire practice of meditation. What it means? Simple meaning. 1 hour of meditation you practice. Your focus remains intact throughout 1 hour. So you succeeded in 1 hour of meditation. Your focus is not there, your mind is distracted 100 times. Maybe 10 minutes you retain the focus. So out of 1 hour, you succeeded in 10 minutes of meditation. Are you getting it? It is a natural focus. You don't make an effort. You contemplate and reflect. I am that, I am that. Om Namah Shivaya. So that gives you a mental focus. Consistent discipline of upasana and devotion trains the mind to be steady and concentrated naturally. I gave you the same example to this young guy who just turned millennials. He had now the third cute and beautiful girl. I said, you did not learn anything. How many girls of her age are cute and beautiful in the world? Millions. I said, why your mind is attached to that girl only? So he said that it is because of attachment. I said, why don't you recognize attachment? Because my focus is on attachment. So in the deluded mode of the mind, or you see that my mind amplified this girl as the most cute and beautiful. What is that amplification means? That amplification is a superimposition, delusion that covered my power of discernment and dispassion in the intellect. Hence, I am suffering. So he asked me, what should I do? I said, continue suffer. You need to continue to pay me to maintain my livelihood. The more you are suffering, better it is for me. He also started laughing. I think it's better for me. And it is also better for you. At least one day you will recognize mind receiving the focus from outside in any situation on a person will cause attachment. One day you will realize. Third benefit, it enhances it raises your bar of self-awareness. You instantly become aware. What is that? Previously, your mind was reacting to a certain situation with your honey. Now you don't react. Internally you recognize, you are more sensitive, and you enter into, oh, that is good. Oh, Shiva, you are teaching me to maintain the calm instead of reacting? Yes, you continue to live into the higher state of awareness. What a beautiful second part of this upasana, karma yoga. To karma yoga purifies the mind. Upasana deepens the level of my awareness. There is a spiritual sensitivity. Previously, I was entering into conflict and confusion. I used to have a lot of anxiety, but now it came. I understand it is gone, or it doesn't come. What is that state? That is the meaning of natural surrender. That is the meaning of the surrender through your pure emotion. Ah, oh, so did you explain the surrender? Yes. Why surrender only? Because the ego part is not there. Now you are attached to the Shiva. Now you are attached to this. So that state, we have to reach to that state is very, very important. So whether we do it, whether you do it, the moment you look at the image of the Shiva, oh, are you happy with me, Shiva? And you check happiness is there. Yes, you're happy. You recognize with the reference. That is a reference point of the image of the Om Namah Shivaya. Anxiety is there. Om Namah Shivaya. Anaya reaction is Om Namah Shivaya. That's the reference point. That's a tool we are using. We have to, otherwise, if we don't use this tool, we have to go back to Karma Yoga again. We have to wash our hands again before taking a lunch. Again, I'm explaining you in a different way. It will, I know it will hit your intellect. You have a very sharp, analyzed intellect. Oh, I've already washed my hand. Yeah, okay. Washed my hands, so the Shiva is doing this. Shiva cannot react. Finished. So the third aspect is covered is the anugraha. Anugraha means basically blessing and the grace. You are receiving. We are receiving the divine assistance. Oh, who is the divine here? Innermost self. Where it is located? It is located within, deep inside me, behind the individual. What is this individual? Body, mind, intellect, and ego, eightfold lower nature. Lower nature, given a reference of I-ness, is what the false I is. And the innermost self is behind. Oh, so that I can receive the grace and the blessing from inside me. That is the meaning. From the divine, answer is yes. Why? Because it contains all the powers. So Shiva is inside, yes. Our human effort creates the necessary receptivity. Aurobindo, I remember, a great master, Aurobindo. What a great master. I spent a couple of years in his monastery, and there is no formal classes. You study the synthesis of yoga and the life divine in other texts, and then you live. You so there are simple rules that is also discussed by Sri Aurobindo. If you find our extreme necessity to communicate with other seeker, then only you should communicate. One rule. Secondly, you have to communicate in minimum of words. Third, you have to sit down to receive the grace. Shiva, you descend into me, peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. You just follow that contemplation and reflection. When your mind is pure, when your mind is empty, you receive. That is one set of practices. You have thousands of people, thousands of seekers, and you see what all people are crazy. Nobody is talking to one another. What's happening? All the works are done. Everything is so organized, highly organized in that monastery. Otherwise, in a normal monastery, you say, "Oh, bring it." Teacher talks and laughs. No, no one. Everyone is relaxed and calm. Their main goal is to receive the blessing through contemplation and reflection. Shiva, you descend into me as peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. You descend into me. Let me wait and see. Are you descending into me? So your whole mental and emotional energy goes there. That is one way to receive. Other way is the ritual. No, you have already seen kirtan. There are a lot of Americans, who started doing a concert of kirtan. That is also one part of the ritual meditation. They sing and chant different words. Yeah, that is also a part. So the same thing we have learned Om Namah Shivaya mentally. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. You are seeing the wall. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So yes, consciousness plus tamoguna is the matter. But I'm looking at the consciousness who is Om Namah Shivaya in the wall. I got it. From there you get the necessary divine grace. Divine grace. So, yeah, I did not cover that. Arvindo's, what he said, I left it, I started talking about his monastery. Personal effort and grace are directly proportional. Intense the effort at the mental and the emotional level, greater the grace. They are directly proportional. That is what I wanted to say to you. It does not mean that I do not make a personal effort. Then what happens? Arvindo, such a great master, unparalleled. Every master is unparalleled. They are unique. So what you do, you continue to do it. Your personal effort will start decreasing and your grace will start increasing. So in the beginning, you have to reach to 50-50. Then your personal effort is 40%, your grace is 60%, 20%, 80%, 10%, 90%, 1%, 99%. You are already there. Where? You already understood this. So, that is, and no, I'm not going there with Arvindo says, otherwise it will be a different topic altogether. I'm holding back. So now, we have explained the three aspects of it. So basically you see action, karma yoga, to upasana, to jnana yoga. So from the chapter 8, we will be only focused on the jnana yoga, but we will continue with the upasana. Karma yoga in the first 6 chapters, upasana I have already explained. In the 7th chapter, a brief introduction, it will be dealt in deeply. In the rest 5 chapters, with reference to the knowledge of the. Now I want to briefly summarize the entire chapter number 7, so that you should be studying the chapter 7 with clarity. So the first, obviously, we have understood the first part of it. It was an introduction. Master says completely, comprehensively, without doubt, conditional is there. Condition is devotion, discipline, and surrender. I have already made it clear in a couple of the sessions. Now from the fourth verse to chapter 12 we have covered. It is the main topic, classification. What is the God? Twofold nature of the God, with an examples that it is in the water, not the water. Does the word is in my tongue? No. Does the word is the tongue? There's just my speech is the larynx? No. It is in it. But where it is? Binary numbers of the computer. Oh, that manifest? Yes, when the seed can manifest as a tree, why not? Because it is subtle, and so we say it is a spiritual. So 7 to 12 verses talks about who is God, how to connect, and what is the grace. Check the verse number 13 to 19. We understand what is Maya, or the word outside, and what is bondage. What is bondage? How to get rid of this bondage? What are types of bondage? How word in relation? And verse number 20 to 26, we understand the types of upasana, the types of devotion. What are the different types of devotion? What to do, how to do. And the last three verses, 27 to 30, is the way out. Now I am fully immersed in devotion, and what can I have the vision? Yes, I can have the vision of it. So go back first three verses, introduction and a greatness of this chapter. Greatness of the chapter is why? Because we will give you complete knowledge. Why it is so rare? Because lack of faith, lack of guidance, lack presence of the past tendencies in our life, lack of proper guidance, lack of faith, and lack of and presence of the past impressions. Why past impressions? I have not completed the karma yoga completely. I have not reached to a state where the karma yoga can transition into upasana or the devotion. You can explain in a variety of ways, so I'm trying to explain. And the verse number 4 to 12, we have already covered that nature of the God. So we know first twofold nature, then we clarify the threefold nature. Who is an individual? Consciousness, same consciousness plus Rajoguna. Rajoguna is also leads to avidya. So sometimes we say consciousness plus ignorance is individual. Another name. Consciousness plus 5 koshas, consciousness plus 3 bodies is also an individual. We say that. Why? Because 3 koshas, 5 layers, 3 koshas also influence, they, through the gunas, they control the individual. So conclusion, consciousness plus satoguna, guna are controlled by the innermost self. Oh, if I touch the innermost self, I'll be able to control the guna. Answer is yes. Now I have dementia after, sometime, when I interpret Alzheimer's and dementia, loss of memory, I'm growing old. Don't you remember at the age of 15, you forgot so many things and then you recalled? So you had the dementia at that time also? We don't. We are convinced negatively by the modern science. I'm sorry to say. Didn't you forget where you kept the keys when you were 20? You were so much excited. And why? Because you were seeking situational happiness. It was amplified. And hence you forgot. But after that, wait, calm down your mind. Don't blame your mind. Anyhow, so nature of the God, lower in the higher nature, 13 to 19. Cause of the bondage. We have to understand what is the word cause of the bondage. Bondage means superimposition, delusion, illusion, ignorance, reaction, anger and anxiety and long. And what are the means to remove it? So we cover specifically from the verse number 13 to 19. We have yet to understand the interplay of the 3 gunas. We have just understood as if, this is the concept, but we have to bring down at the experiential level. Am I in the satoguna while talking to you? My speech will definitely be fine. Not because it is because of the I-ness, but because of the satoguna in the mind. I will be fumbling. If it is with this rajoguna, I will be feeling sleepy. when it is tamoguna. It is an experiential understanding. Can I see those three gunas? Answer is no. Can I see the impact? Yes. Can I see those binary numbers, how they work and they appear on the computer interface? No. But can I see the impact? Yes. I see the effect. So if the science can understand with the cause and effect relationship, why I should not understand cause and effect relationship? So that innermost self, dominant in Satoguna, dominated over the individual self, bypassed the ego, and now I'm speaking. Yes, yes, possible, possible. If it is not possible, like the computer, you have many bugs to remove it. You have to use antivirus. First antivirus is karma yoga. Malware. You have many malwares in computer. You have to use devotion. Verse number 13 to 19, it explains beautifully what is this cause of the bondage and means to remove it. Means to remove it. Then verse number 20 to 30 specifically, or maybe one or two verses here and there, it gives you a brief understanding what are the means to remove the bondage. You have to cultivate faith. Then we will understand what is the faith at least. Faith is known as Shraddha. Then you have to approach to a teacher, consistent listening and learning. You have to intensify your devotion. You have to understand. You have to stop seeking the situational happiness. On the other hand, you have also to recognize which stage of a seeker you are. You are living your professional life. We discussed that last year, I think 2 years ago. Krishna says there are 4 stages of seekers. I won't say 4 types of seekers. So 4 stages of the seeker. The lowest level of a seeker is in distress, and it says situational happiness will make me happy. That is the lowest stage of a seeker. Second level of a seeker, I have everything, but let me accumulate more because it will give me the happiness. Third level of a seeker, no, happiness is not outside, it is within me. So now see, you are into anxiety because you are first 2 level of a seeker. You contemplate, reflect, move to the third level of a seeker. Within no time, you are already calm and relaxed. And then you see objectively where is the problem and you can solve the problem. Simple understanding. Situation does not haunt you and chase you. Come on, I have a problem. My mind reflects. So that reflection is full of ignorance, full of the play of the 3 gunas. No situation can tell you have an atom bomb, now a lot of talk is going on. You have an atom bomb lying on your table. Atom bomb does not say, I will blast you. It is my reflection. So my reflection of fear, first 2 stages of seeker. Third level, let me get rid of this. So when I get rid of this bomb, I'm also get rid of that situation. Situation is gone. So what are then master reflects beautifully. That is what we are going to talk in detail. 3 reasons. Master gives us 3 basic reasons. Lack of faith, no guidance, and there are a lot of inner tamas. Inner tamoguna means laziness, mood swing, inconsistency, reaction, duality, conflict. These factors will bring you back to the same level from where you started the journey. Even if you have the best guidance, even if the Buddha appears before you, but you are dominated by the inner tamas. One guy in the previous session, in a group session, when I start talking and his head goes down and his eyes, I said, why the hell you are sleeping? I'm listening. No, I said, this is not listening. You are sleeping. But the problem is I was very tough in the last session. Then today also again I saw him, the same lady. Why I find her? Pay attention. I forget. Why I forget? Because of Tamoguna. Because Tamoguna is so dominant in my nature. And everyone saw him and I said, no, I'm not going to say him anything. Keep sleeping. Continue sleeping. Done. I have nothing to say. Why should I say? When you are not aware of it, I have already warned you a couple of times. It clearly means during the practice of meditation, you simply sleep. And you are waiting for some miracle to happen, some grace and blessing to happen. Nothing will happen to you. Lack of faith is the first. Skepticism, impatience, chasing quick result, they belong to the lack of faith. No guidance, yes. Guidance should be there. Guidance means that it should be explained in variety of ways so that the things becomes clear in your intellect, and then you contemplate, reflect on those lines. Now your intellect says, I'm there. There is no anxiety, there is no reaction. When I feel that, mind has accepted it. Why mind has accepted? Intellect has a tremendous conviction. And when the mind has accepted, you can easily do karma yoga. You can easily move to devotion, and you can start receiving the grace and the blessing. That is what is known as. So now this guy who is sleeping, he feels, if I'm sleeping, then God will grace me. God has already given you the grace. Even if you are so lazy, so reactive, God has given you a deep sleep, at least for a few hours. Please get rid of all the reactions. God says, I'm not responsible when you wake up and you start thinking again of same reaction. That is not my problem. That is your problem. You have to make a choice. Understand, we are very clear about it. Gita, Krishna is such a great guy. What does knowing God completely mean? I will pick up a couple of more questions I framed for you. It means understanding both what lower nature and the higher nature of the God. Why? So that I remove my ignorance, misconception and delusion that God is only present where I perceive conscious activity. It is present everywhere, in everything. So it means that is why Krishna is asking us to understand. It says clearly that this is my lower nature. Pay attention. He does not say this is the part of my nature. It means what? He says this is me. This is me. That is also me. This is also me. That is important to pick up. And apara and para prakriti, I have already told you about this. So when we understand the verse number 13 and 14 deeply. What are the building blocks of Maya or Prakriti or Avidya or five koshas or three bodies? Why? Because we have to understand from a different perspective so that the intellect can instantly be aware how these five koshas are working interactively, interconnected. Three bodies are interconnected and how they work. Do I have a knowledge in the mind? Yes, I have a knowledge. If I say, for example, knowledge in the mind. So the knowledge is always present in the mind. If I say yes, then why I forget why I went to ignorance. So mind is the subtle level. When I move to the causal level, at the causal level, it is the innermost self. Satoguna is of the nature of knowledge. So it means knowledge from that Ishwar descends into the mind and expressed at the physical level through the speech. Oh, that happens. So we will understand these building blocks. Same thing applies to anxiety and reaction, duality and a conflict, anger and hesitation, frustration. So we will understand the full understanding of the Maya, Prakriti, delusion, avidya, three bodies, five coverings, briefly. And then we will understand what are the four stages of being a seeker. Then we will understand what needs to be done, how it is to be done, and then we can